basically people looking for a conducive work environment to to actualize their businesses or their products, their ideas, and to work with a community of like-minded people who can share their the same aspirations, their goals, we can rub ideas from rub ideas of just a really really nice work environment for people to come on board and get that feel, that formal office feel, but with a more relaxed atmosphere, essentially.
Fantastic. So the name is intrigues me, and I've been joking about how it sounds like some neuro augmentation research facility, and we'll laugh in the background. How did you come about the name Cranium One?
Man, well, I love good names. I love names that sound cool, and Cranium One just sounded like a really cool name. And but seriously, I thought if you know what cranium is, it's the housing for the brain.
Yeah.
So essentially, Cranium One is the brain. It's a brain space, a space for ideation, a space for creation, a space for people to to work their brains. So that's essentially where the name came from. I was looking for a name that would encapsulate what we're trying to do here, which is to bring very, very smart people, creative people who love using their knowledge and their creativity to form ideas, products, services. And Cranium just sort of worked for me to just encapsulated all of those. So essentially,
I think it's a catchy name. It's catching on. Sounds like some space research project. Tesla.
Maybe that's the side projects. Who knows? You'll find that in a couple of years. Yeah.
We'll see. So, quick question, right? It's in the heart of Victoria Island, super accessible. It's off Idejo, so it's kind of like there's so many restaurants around, hotels, like pretty much anything you're looking for, and anything Victoria Island, much less the place where it's located, is just premium real estate. We're talking about super expensive location, and I was there. It's a really high-end looking facility that you've got there. Finishing is quite nice. How is all of this being funded? Is this investors?
It's through investors. I basically have a couple of investors who have worked with me on previous projects. So they trust my judgment, my business acumen, and I was able to sell them on the potential of the business. So they saw the vision, they understood where I was going and where I wanted to take it, and they trusted my judgment. So they were able to provide funds for us to actualize it.
So if I'm going to riff off that for a bit, you didn't just wake up and have this idea. Obviously, you thought about it for some time, and how you arrived at the idea of a co-working space in the first place is what I'd like you to tell us.
For a couple of reasons, really. The first one is I love to collaborate with like-minded individuals. I've always done my best work when I feel energized, when I work with people of similar mindsets, goals, aspirations. So basically other entrepreneurs doing great projects.
Mm-hmm.
And I found it very boring working by myself. You feel isolated, feel lonely, and you get distracted very easy. You can find yourself, running down a rabbit hole and just getting lost for hours doing, and gaining nothing. So, working with other people just keeps you in check. And that's one reason. So I've always just felt the need to collaborate with other people. And the second reason was it just became a no-brainer. I had a pretty sizable office space and it wasn't being utilized to full capacity. And I'd have friends and colleagues who would request or who would want to come to use the space. So they'd come in from time to time, take a desk, sit in for a week, a couple of, a month or so. And I was like, okay, maybe I have something here. And they would ask me how much is it, but I couldn't charge them because they were my friends, obviously. But then one summer, I went to I was in the UK for quite a large, for quite a long amount of time. And I'm always working. I'm always doing something. I'm always thinking. I'm always creating ideas. So I didn't want to work in my house. So I was like, where can I go? Where can I go? So I started doing some research, and I found out that there were these great places, called co-working spaces. I was like, what is this? I did some research, and I found a whole bunch of co-working spaces around London. I visited a number of them, and I was blown away by just the quality of spaces that they have there. I just felt the energy with the people that were there. I love the atmosphere, just the idea of going to space, not really knowing people, but just everybody's similar level. You can leverage off people's knowledge. You can share ideas. Everything is built for you to maximize your productivity. So I was like, listen, this could work. This is so work in Nigeria. This is what I've been thinking of all this time without knowing it. So before I even go back to Nigeria,
I wanted to go ahead. Because there's a good question that's coming. It's like, how large do you think the market for co-working is in Lagos, based on the research that you were doing, and still tying into what you were saying about what inspired you and all the research you did. So if you would just answer that along with the rest of your response.
Okay, I think the market is pretty huge. If you think about it like this, how many people have, multiple, how should I put it, hustles? We have one person that has 3 jobs. He's got a main job and he's got three side projects he's working on. He's either in selling some product or the other. Think about all the entrepreneurs we have in the country who are working out of their homes, or who are struggling to find money to pay rent on expensive office space. Think of all the teams of people working out of cafes and hotels or hotel lobbies. I mean, that should just give you an indication of roughly how large the size of the market is. There's a huge number of people who don't have the opportunity to work in a office space, who have left the traditional office environment and who are looking for something that can give them that same feel, but also the flexibility of being able to leave when you want. You're not working under a boss who's going to tell you this is the time you come in, but also the ability to leverage off other people's knowledge. So the market is huge. We have an extremely entrepreneurial society. So really our goal for Cranium One is to build a network of co-working spaces around the country and really tap into that market. So the market is, I would say, it's extremely large.
Fantastic. So Cranium One is not coming into a vacuum, as it were. There's other spaces that have been, in play, and we're talking spaces that have been around for 2, 3, for some as much as 5 years. The Co-Creation Hub has a co-working facility that is not advertised as such, but as it turns out, that is what it is. Lots of people work out from there, and they're constantly cycling. I, for one, worked from there in 2013, spent 1 year working there before I eventually moved to where we currently are. There is Capital Square all the way in Lekki, Venia Business Hubs. Now we have this the Entrepreneur Hot House in Ikeja, a couple places that I don't quite remember their names, in Yaba, around Ozone, and stuff like that. And the question where I'm going to with all of this is, what is the difference between this solution and all the other existing things on the market? Bearing in mind that I think more co-working spaces are needed, so it's not that they're competing or anything, it's just that, is there any unique thing that you're bringing to the table? Yeah.
Sure. I mean, I've done some research on the other spaces. I've been to a number of them myself, and they're great spaces. I love what they're doing. These are guys that were in the market way before us, so they saw the potential. for office space, for flexible working spaces. So I mean, they're all great spaces. The differentiating sort of feature for Cranium One is we're targeting a slightly different market. We're going for slightly more premium, clientele. Hence why we tagged ourselves as a premium co-working space. So we have spent a bit more time on the look and feel and the ergonomics of the space. So we've invested heavily in flooring, wall fittings, lighting, chairs. A lot of stuff was carefully designed with the worker in mind. So our target is really a slightly more premium. People who are ready to pay a slight premium on the existing from the existing co-working or working spaces. But then at the same values, same aspirations, same goals. But yeah, that's the main differentiating factor. And because they all do great things, we appreciate them being sort of pioneers in the market. So we're coming in to add value and add a slightly different niche to the co-working space market.
I mean, I think that's a great place to even go into the next question, which is how much does Cranium One cost, considering all of the emphasis on premium. But before we do that, I'd like to again welcome everyone who's just joining us to this live TechCabal broadcast we're doing with Olaotan Towry-Coker. He's talking about his co-working space that he launched very recently. It's called Cranium One, and it's a premium co-working space located in the heart of Victoria Island, Lagos. And we've been having this conversation about flexible working, co-working spaces. If you have any questions, just type them into the chat tab to your right, assuming you're viewing this on a PC. And in a few minutes from now, less than 10 minutes, we'll allow you to dial in to ask questions directly, participating in this conversation. But what I want quickly for Banker, who is the community manager for Cranium One, to do now is to give us the options, tell us what the options are inside of Cranium One. It felt a bit small to me when I visited, and so maybe you want to speak to that. And then we'll also talk about how much these options cost.
Okay, thank you, Bankali. Hi, guys. For speaking about small, our space can seat 20 to 21 people conveniently at any particular time. But for events, we can extend the number to about 30 or 35 people in the space without choking people up and creating enough space for you to walk around. Then we have our packages include the hot desk, we have the fixed desk, and we have the private offices. So for the hot desk, why it's hot? Because it's for nomad court, yeah. So you come and sit as you find any available seat. So there's no desk assigned to you. Yeah. Okay. Then we have the fixed ones that have lockers under it. So for the duration of my membership here at Cranium One, I own this desk. So if you come the next day and see somebody, you can say, "Hi, what are you doing on my desk?" and bounce the person. Well, so that's the difference, right? And we have the private offices. Private because you can have that space to yourself. Or if you have a team of about 2 to 3 people, we have private offices for 2, and we have for 3 people as well. So you guys can actually be in your own space within the co-working space.
I wanted to point out that both of you are sitting right inside of the co-working space now, and you're sitting in the private office, if I remember correctly. Olaotan, where are you sitting?
So I'm seated at the front desk.
If you want to look at what it looks like, I've just posted a link to the chat tab, so you can just click on that and see what the space is. I did a post about it a few days ago. There's lots of great pictures that illustrate for the viewers that illustrate what Cranium One looks like, and like you said, hot desk and all of that stuff. But you haven't spoken to the crucial question that everybody wants to know, which is how much do each of these options cost?
I think I would allow.
Sorry, before she goes into that, You mentioned that you felt like it was a bit small. I'd like to say it's cozy.
Cozy. That is a nice.
It's cozy.
I like that. Actually works. It works a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
yeah.
Yeah. I actually agree with you. It does feel cozy, and there is also kind of there's a thing with like spaces that have lots of people in them. Like to be honest, I'm not a people person. It's like too many people. 20 people seems to be a manageable number. Having said that, I'm aware that Capital Square is expanding just because I'm guessing there is demand. There's also like, it just is in the nature of businesses to expand. So there is that. Any intentions to expand at some point, say if you need capacity?
Definitely. We've already been approached by a few space owners who want to collaborate with us. So there is definitely an opportunity, and our goal is to create a network of co-working spaces around Nigeria, not just in Lagos, because like I said, there is a huge demand for people who need this kind of space.
Fascinating stuff. So yes, back to the question: the million naira.
Okay, the price.
Yeah.
Okay. So we have three categories. The most expensive being the private offices. That's 150K for a desk in there per month.
Per month.
That includes per month. So that includes obviously you get the office space, you get the all the accessories. So you get a phone line, which you can dial out. You have a bookshelf. You have shelves for your private private items. You have you can lock the office. You can stay. You can have access to the meeting rooms, which are actually paid for. So you get a lot of additional benefits of having a private office. Then we have the fixed desk.
Let's also mention we have coffee for everyone.
That's free coffee.
Free coffee.
Free coffee. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Totally unlimited coffee.
Okay. Unlimited coffee. Yeah. So so the next category below that is the fixed desks. Those come on 100K per month, and those are slightly less premium than the private offices. And what they are is, like Banker said, is that they're your dedicated desks, which you own for the duration of your membership. You get shelf, like you get the drawers which you can store your stuff in, and it's slightly more private than the hot desks, which are 80K per month. The hot desks, for me, I think that's the area I would most enjoy working, because that's where the hot heads are going to be, the guys who are really are happy collaborating. And that's the essence of what we're trying to do here. We're trying to create an environment where people feel comfortable collaborating, sharing ideas, helping each other, and basically enabling people to be more productive. So that comes at 80K per month.
Looks like we're experiencing some technical issues. Let's hope that the internet comes back and they can rejoin us. Actually, we're beginning to reach an interesting point, but 150,000 naira for private offices, not ridiculously pricey.
Yeah.
Not ridiculously pricey. I did say it's premium. Banky, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So this is actually now this is the place where you can dial in, actually, and I'm going to take Banker offline so we can let people call in.
All right, that's fine.
If you don't mind, Banker.
It's fine, thank you.
Bye, Banker. Sorry. We'll talk to you later.
All right, then bye.
Yeah, so this is a great place. If you want to call in, fantastic. Olaotan is back online. If you want to call in, now is the time to do so. We didn't quite get how much the hot desk costs. So we have 150 for private offices, 100,000 for the fixed desk. desks?
Sorry, I'm just reading. Somebody said for free coffee, I'll pay 100K per month.
It looks like you have your first customers. But are people signed up?
Yes, we do. We have people signed up already. Yes, we do. We're getting at least a sign up a day. There's still space. Come. So yeah, you asked something earlier.
Yeah, we're still waiting.
Okay, how much for the hot desk?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, the hot desk are 80K per month.
80,000 naira a month for the hot desk, and you get all the coffee you can drink.
You can drink yourself into stupor.
You drink yourself to your hyper.
To your hyper, yeah. Exactly.
So we kind of were getting like lots of people trying to call in at the beginning, but now it doesn't look like it looks like those people came and they went. So I mean, we're just going to keep talking about Cranium One for the next 5 minutes. Any chance that you're going to be doing stuff on the mainland? Which I did mention that there's a number of places, but I don't think it gets as much love as BI in terms of, like you say, premium co-working. Co-working spaces. So two things I need you to answer. Kind of why is that, and if there anything, if you think that there will be stuff in the works for the mainland.
Okay, sorry, I didn't quite hear the first part of the question.
So the first part of the question is, why do you think there isn't as many options for people who are on the mainland for co-working, flexible workspaces, considering that there is a lot of people on the mainland? We do know that Yaba is turning into a hub for the technology community, but even if you go past Yaba, there's Surulere, there is Ikeja, there are all these other places that are not DI, and people would like to work from this place as well.
Sure. Okay, so I can't speak for the other co-working spaces, but I can only assume that that it was a business decision for them. They saw the island as being slightly more premium, and maybe they thought there was more money there. I already have the space. That's why I chose to build in this area. But definitely the mainland has huge potential, and it's something, it's where we're going to be targeting in the near future, because there's a huge number of people who are just as entrepreneurial and creative out there, especially Yaba, like you said already. But I think Yaba already has quite a number of spaces. There's,
So there is
definitely.
It's interesting that you mentioned Maryland, because I'm aware that a lot of development is happening there. There is actually a shopping complex currently under construction. And I hear we'll have 4 cinemas. There's going to be a shop right there. So it sounds like a huge undertaking. I'm actually a bit inside me scared about what that would mean in terms of traffic. But it is interesting that you mention that. It seems like that's also like a burgeoning hub, as long as it doesn't become a traffic clusterfuck, I hope.
Unfortunately, that comes as part and parcel with development. The more development you get, the more traffic. There's more cars on the road.
Yeah.
We're trying to get access.
It looks like a lot of people
ask people. Fans of what?
Fans of the coffee.
Yeah, I can see that. Maybe we should. We should actually just set up a side business. Start selling coffee. Forget the co-working. Do coffee.
There's Cafe Neo also like in the area, but let's hope your coffee.
I know.
So what other stuff will be happening aside?
No, I'm under pressure now to deliver good coffee.
Great.
I'm under pressure.
So TechCabal is looking forward to hosting events, but in terms of programming, what is good? Do you have stuff lined up? What else will be happening apart from free coffee, right? And working.
Yeah, of course. So as a member of Cranium One, you're going to have get access to a host of workshops, seminars, events that we're holding at the space. So the schedule is still being put in place, but we have some great things lined up. We have, seminars from marketing experts, from branding up to product management, even coding, just anything that we feel or our members would find useful.
Yeah.
How to start your business growth strategies, brainstorming sessions, everything that we feel that early stage businesses will need in their growth phase. That's essentially what we're aiming for in terms of the capacity building.
I find it interesting that you mentioned coding, because the final question I was going to ask you was, what kind of people is Cranium One looking to host, and is it techies, business people, suits and ties, or people like me that like to wear t-shirts to work?
Well, I mean, initially we wanted it to be a very tech focused environment, but then we realized very early on that if you're too focused on one area, then you won't benefit from other areas that can actually potentially assist your business. So as a techie, you need the marketing capacity. You need to understand finance. You need to understand all different areas of the business cycle. So just having one particular focus on one particular sector won't benefit our members to the full value of what we're trying to do. So we're open to business agnostic, but then one underlying tone that we're trying to set is businesses, early stage businesses. Mm-hmm. So 1 to 5 years old, who leverage technology for the sake of their business, which is most businesses these days. But we are looking for people who understand technology, who leverage it for their business, and who can find value in technology. So the vision is, I see a coder working next to a graphics designer who is a couple of seats down from somebody in finance, or who can help them write their business plan. Then somebody who understands, who can help them get funding for their business. Then somebody in marketing can help them push their business out there. Yeah. So that is the kind of community we're looking to create, in Cranium One.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I'd like to sit next to someone who can fund my business. That would be certainly helpful.
We all would. We all like that. I think that guy will become the most popular guy. I think he'll be very quickly he'll become the most popular guy in Cranium One. I'm sure.
Motukwe has a question. Is membership open to everyone, or is there some sort of application vetting process for people who want to join?
Yes, there will be a vetting process, because obviously we're trying to create a community. There's a lot of community engineering going on. We want to ensure that, because we're quite small, we want to ensure that everybody in here is the right kind of person that's going to add value. It's not going to cause trouble with the community, and something that people can find value from. So we will have it's not a really tough process, but there will be a small vetting process just to ensure that there's going to be value add from and for the individual.
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. So I'm just, for anyone who just joined, because we kind of have run out of time. This is 12:31, and people want to get back to their lunch and stuff. But I've been talking to Olaotan Towry-Coker. Time flies by when you're having fun, as it turns out. And this has been a very, very useful conversation. But back to the Olaotan Towry-Coker has been talking about Cranium One co-working space that he's just established in the heart of Victoria Island, super central. The prices for the different co-working tiers are not ridiculously expensive, as someone in the comments said. There is private offices, there is fixed desks, there is a hot desk, 150K, 100K, 80K respectively, and there's free coffee for everyone. And we've been having this brilliant conversation about also flexible working in Lagos. So thanks for joining us. If you didn't catch us from the beginning, this video will be available for replay here on Blab. We'll be uploading this to YouTube, we're putting on the blog, everywhere that TechCabal is. You can find this video. You can leave your comments, feedback, tell us how we did. This broadcast will also be happening next week, and we have a very, very interesting guest lineup. So that will be super cool. And if you have more questions for Olaotan Towry-Coker, how can they reach you? How can they contact Cranium One?
They can reach us at Cranium_One on Twitter, same username on Instagram, or they can hit me up directly at OliTC on Twitter. Yeah, they can email us at info@cranium-one.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fantastic. I really am stoked that you found time to join us today. You're a super familiar but quiet face in the scene. You don't talk a lot, but you're doing really cool stuff. So Olaotan is the founder of AfroTickets.com. He also launched a startup recently, hyperlocal fun places discovery platform called Xanderloo, and now Cranium One. So that will make him what we call a serial entrepreneur. Super cool stuff that you're doing. I think more people should know about what you do. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. So,
thank you.
To everyone who's joined us, about 112 people who viewed this broadcast now, thank you so much for joining us. You can send in more questions, and I'm sure Olaotan will be happy to answer them. And we'll be signing off next week. Super interesting guest, so do not forget about that. Just follow us on Twitter, TechCabal, Facebook, TechCabal, TechCabal.com, and stay tuned. We'll be with you Wednesday at noon again next week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, guys. Thanks.